My doctor was calling me like bubble girl.
The most restricted, miserable diet.
I wish I did that like at the very beginning.
Why didn't I ask you question number one? We'll edit this part out.
Oh my gosh, I can't eat all these things.
What's up, and welcome to the video. I'm Dr. Daniel Ricciardi, gut health expert, licensed pharmacist, fitness enthusiast, and creator of SIBO Shortcut. Today, we have a special video for you. I'm actually going to be interviewing somebody I really admire in the gut health space and have been getting the chance to get to know a little bit better over the past few months. She is a certified holistic nutrition health coach, a gut health coach, a Candida conqueror and expert, and a fellow YouTuber with great content. Welcome, Avery Beason. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's it going?
Going well. I'm really excited to do this and share what I know about Candida and my journey with it. So very happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Like you said, we're here, I guess, to talk about a lot of Candida. I have a little bit of content, but I'm by no means as knowledgeable as you are. So I went through and picked out some questions from YouTube that I think people were wondering, and we'll see if we can dive into a few of them.
Great.
So first, can you share just a little bit about yourself, your personal background with Candida, and what you do now?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I grew up in Georgia. I grew up in the country, a small town, came to the city in 2013 for school. I have a background in like illustration and graphic design, so not really related to health and wellness at all, but I came to the city for school and just have stayed ever since. But as far as like my health journey goes and my background with that, when I was a kid, we can go like way back. When I was a
For
kid,
sure.
I was experiencing a lot of food allergies and I had a lot of different toxins in my body too. So we did a round of like, I guess it was LDA shots when I was a kid. I did a lot of sauna therapy. So I was dealing with that a lot as a kid. I was just like the weird girl that, always had to bring her food everywhere. And my mom was so great and made all my food like from scratch and like amazing. And so very thankful that she did that for me. So when I got older, like in high school, I was just, eating. I was playing sports. I was doing everything like a normal teenager would do. And same thing in college. Maybe partied a little bit more in college. So in about 2019, I was noticing that I was like more bloated than usual. And I was also experiencing like a lot of fatigue and my face was breaking out. And I was having all these like little issues, like my body was indicating like something was wrong. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm having some food allergies again. And so I found a holistic doctor that like tested for those things. And so I went to her and I was like telling her about, my history and the problems that I was having now. And so she tested for food allergies. It was an IgE test. And then she also recommended doing a Candida overgrowth test, which I had like never heard about at all. So she did that. And then the test results came back. I had like tons of different food allergies and I had Candida overgrowth as well. But in my mind, I was just focused on the food allergies. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't eat all these things. My doctor was calling me like bubble girl. And so I was like kind of stressed out because I'm allergic to all these foods that I was eating. So that was 2019. And that whole year, I was really just focused on the food part, like avoiding the things that I was allergic to and not really focusing on the Candida thing. And then I started doing my own research about it and discovered that, Candida can lead to all these food allergies, and so I was like, well, maybe I should be focusing more on the food allergies focusing more on Candida overgrowth. And my doctor, I don't think she was really knowledgeable in Candida overgrowth. Like she knew that it was an issue, but she basically was just giving me like the LDA shots and recommending that I avoid sugar, high carbs, alcohol, things like that for the Candida overgrowth. But she wasn't super focused on that. And then I was the one that was doing the research and was like, well, maybe I should be super focused on the Candida overgrowth. So in 2021, I got really serious about it like that year. And I did like a 4-month cleanse. And I did some other stuff during that time too to help get rid of the Candida overgrowth. And I noticed like a lot of my symptoms were going away. My skin was clearing up. My body wasn't reacting to all these foods that I was like allergic to. So yeah, I did that in 2021, and it was a little bit easier because it was during the pandemic too. So we didn't
Yeah,
really have to, you know, go out there wasn't like that much social things going on too. So it was
sure. Yeah.
it was a little bit easier for me to stay home and just focus on the cleanse basically. But now I'm focusing on like having more balance with food and like my lifestyle too, and incorporating some foods that I cut out for so long, and being more social and not like stressing myself out so much about like what I'm eating, because I did that for a while. So I'm trying to have more balance now, but that's where I am now.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to do some of that, getting more balance. Just
Yeah.
for people who may not know, when you say LDA shots, can you just talk a little bit what that means, or the
Yeah.
abbreviation for it?
Yeah, so it's low dose allergen shots. And I think I was doing it every few months. I know that people do
Okay.
it differently. I've heard people can do it like weekly or monthly, but yeah, I think it definitely helped. And I was getting not only food shots, but also stuff for chemicals and environmental LDA shots, because I was also allergic to like all these environmental things like ragweed and different
Yeah.
trees and mold. And as far as like animals go, I was doing shots for that too. So like I was really, really allergic to cats. I remember that now. And like my whole life, I've been really allergic to cats. But now when I'm around them, I've noticed that I'm not as reactive. And I've always had asthma, and I very, very rarely have to use my inhaler now. So I think
Well,
just changing my lifestyle, maybe getting those LDA shots definitely helped, but changing the way I eat and lifestyle for sure helped. But I thought that was really cool because I've always been the girl like getting her inhaler out, maybe a few times a week, even, especially in like high school and college. Like it was just normal for me to do that. So,
nice. Well, it sounds like you've made some great improvements in health in areas, not just Candida, but a variety of other things as well. So that's
yeah,
awesome.
thank
Yeah.
you.
For those that don't know, the first thing about Candida, what exactly is Candida, and what are some common signs and symptoms that somebody with Candida may experience?
Okay, so there's a lot of different symptoms that someone can experience, but I'll just name the ones that I experienced. So you can have like a yeast overgrowth, or sorry, a yeast infection. You can have skin issues like acne, eczema. You can have oral thrust on your tongue. So if your tongue is like always white, that can indicate that you have Candida overgrowth. Fatigue is one that I really experienced a lot. And then digestive issues, so the bloating, and then mental health issues as well, like anxiety and depression. Like your gut is your second brain. So if something's going on there, it can definitely affect your mental health too. And also the nutrient absorption, I thought was really interesting because when I was doing all my blood work, I also did blood work for my vitamins and minerals, and some of them were like extremely, extremely low. And later on, I found out that Candida overgrowth can contribute to that. So things like vitamin B, D, and magnesium. So if those are like constantly low on your blood work, like that might indicate that something else is going on in your gut.
Interesting. So you got digestive symptoms, mental symptoms, and also certain ones you can physically see, like an oral thrush, having a layer of white on your tongue that's constantly appearing. So kind of
Yeah.
a wide spectrum of symptoms.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you have like yeast infections a lot and the oral thrust, then I would say it would be a good idea to like look into Candida overgrowth, because that's like super, super common with those.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty specific for Candida as well, as opposed
Mhm.
to like from other causes. So how would you say, if somebody's curious if they may have candida, like how do somebody go about determining if they have candida as opposed to another condition or infection?
So I did blood work to determine if I had candida overgrowth, but I've also done a stool test before, which I think is great because it also can show if you have other different infections in the gut. Because a lot of times it's not just the candida overgrowth. Like for me, I had candida overgrowth, I had leaky gut, and I had SIBO. So it wasn't just the candida overgrowth. Like maybe some people do just experience that. But yeah, as far as testing goes, I would say blood work would be the best for that. But I would also recommend doing a stool test because then you get to see a little bit on a deeper level if there's something else going on too. And then you can kind of determine which one to tackle first. Which,
For sure.
yeah, I wish I did that like at the very beginning, but the blood work showed a lot as well.
Blood work, stool test. Out of curiosity, is there a particular blood test or stool test, like by name, that you've worked with or like, or do you find just anything in that ballpark can be helpful?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the blood test was,
Mhm.
like the name of it, but as far as the stool test goes, it was like a GI map test from, is it like GI Solutions or
I've used that one. I can't remember
I
the
think it's
company
something.
name.
We can link it, but
Google it if you're looking for the name, if you're listening to this.
but I do think that you have to have a practitioner order it for you. I'm not sure if you
Mhm.
could go on the website and order it by yourself. And it is a little bit pricey. I'm not sure if insurance covers something like a stool test, but honestly, I think it's really worth it. You're spending so much money trying to figure out what's going on. Like the stool test will really just tell you what's happening. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Money and time
Yeah,
spent.
exactly.
Anyways, you have some great info on diet for Candida on your channel. From your experience, can you talk a little bit about which foods or drinks are best to avoid with Candida? And then what tasty replacement options have you found that people can eat so they're not feeling like the most restrictive, miserable diet that they're
Yeah.
stuck with permanently?
Yeah. Well, as far as things to avoid, I would just recommend staying away from sugar, really anything that's going to like feed the candida overgrowth. Because when you're doing the cleanse, you want to focus on things that will basically kill the overgrowth. So avoiding things like sugar, gluten. I avoided grains and dairy as well. I was basically eating a paleo diet and eating pretty low carb, which is not something that I would recommend for everybody, but you're doing it in such a short time frame. But like I said, you just really want to focus on foods that are going to be killing the candida overgrowth. So I did do like low carb too. I did have things like sweet potato every once in a while, but it wasn't something that I was having like every meal. But there's lots of great alternatives. Like, honestly, I didn't feel that deprived because I love pasta and I love bread. So I just kind of found brands or like made my own that I could have. So if I was doing grain free, I would focus on cassava flour or almond flour, which are great alternatives. So I would make like almond flour bread, flaxseed bread, and there's some brands like Simple Mills is really great. They have a lot of great like crackers and things like that. Jovial is great for their pasta. They have cassava flour pasta. And so you're still kind of able to eat things that you would normally eat. It's just a little bit different, because the cassava flour is going to be a little bit different than wheat flour. Same with like almond flour too. But I just got used to it and I just put all my favorite things on there, like basil, tomato sauce. There's a lot of things that you can still have, but also eliminating, alcohol and sodas. And I'm not someone that drinks a lot of sodas, but I know that can be an issue for a lot of people or something that they have like on a daily basis. But eliminating anything that could potentially feed the overgrowth and make it grow even more. But yeah, there's a lot of different brands out there that are doing grain free and dairy free and things like that. So I didn't feel too deprived. I definitely did a lot of cooking, which
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is possible to not be like a great chef in the kitchen, but it definitely pushes you to cook more and experiment more with different foods.
I
Mhm.
agree with you that if you find something where like the texture is almost the same, even though it's different ingredients and it looks similar, like a pasta, for example, like you grow to like certain things, or at least I do if I have a certain type of something a few times. So
Yeah, yeah, and, like, I love tacos, and Siete is also a great brand, and they make almond flour tacos, and cassava flour tacos, so or the tortillas, sorry, but I actually prefer them now too, which is crazy, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways to incorporate things that you still love and not feel deprived.
awesome. So what you're saying is you don't have to be miserable if you're doing this.
No, you don't. You do
Oh,
not.
okay. Oh, what a relief.
You do not at all.
Anyways, switching gears a little bit here, in terms of treatments and supplements for Candida, what treatments or supplements have you found to be most helpful for treating Candida?
So for treatments, during my cleanse that I was doing, I did acupuncture once a week, which I thought would really help too. I know not everyone has access to that, which is fine. I don't think that you have to do that, but that is something that I did and that I think really helped and helped with like calming my nervous system too, because I think having so much stress in the body can contribute to candida overgrowth. So the acupuncture really helped me with that. And also, I really focused on detoxification. So I did a lot of sauna therapy. Some places have like sauna studios. I have my own sauna, which I'm very thankful for. So I was able to do that like very, very consistently. But, getting rid of the toxins in your body, because when you're doing the cleanse, it's going to release some toxins. So making sure that you're having daily bowel movements and detoxing the body, drinking lots of water, getting the lymphs moving and stuff like that. I really focused on a lot. As far as like supplements go, I did a lot of antifungals. So oil of oregano is great. I know some people say that you need to kind of be careful with that. Like, don't do it every single day. I think you can do like 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week off. But I just did it every day, so there's different ways to do it. I was not knowledgeable about it so much as I am now, but I have read that you're supposed to do it like 2 weeks on, 1 week off with oil of oregano because it can be really, really powerful. But I had oil of oregano, berberine, I thought was amazing. I still take berberine too. I think it's just really great for you. But natural antifungals like garlic, onion, any kind of antifungals that I could get in a dish, I would do that. And apple cider vinegar is great. And I think that's also great for your stomach acid too. So I would have that often. I had a lot of salads with apple cider vinegar and like tahini, just making my own salad dressing with apple cider vinegar. I had that all the time. But yeah, I would say just things that could help detoxify the body too, maybe like milk thistle and antifungals. So the oil of oregano and berberine are great.
Right on. Familiar with a few of those just from my own work as well. How do you find them in terms of being able to tolerate them? Side effects, anything like that? Was it too bad or
Oh,
not too
yes.
bad?
Yeah, so a lot of people deal with candida die-off and die-off symptoms, so it can definitely get worse before it gets better. I didn't experience it that bad when I was doing the cleanse because a year leading up to the cleanse, I was paleo. So I think that just changing my diet for a year and then doing the cleanse kind of eased my body into it a little bit more gradually. But you can experience things like fatigue, or maybe your skin is breaking out more because it's trying to get rid of stuff, maybe some trouble sleeping, anxiety, or depression or something. It was a little bit different when I was doing the SIBO cleanse, but I definitely experienced it at like a die off, some sort of die off symptom there.
Yeah,
And I think it can be a little bit similar with the candida, which is just so crazy. It's all connected. It's crazy.
for sure. Yeah, that kind of leads me into my next question. I have an 8-year personal history of SIBO, and as you're going through that, going through symptoms and treatment, it can be tough mentally just to kind of like deal with everything because you don't know are things ever going to be better? Is this just my new norm for like the rest of my life? I
Mhm.
guess in terms of mental health and mindset, what tools, practices, daily routines have you found to be the most helpful for you?
Yeah, so as far as my routine goes now, I definitely do a lot of things that will help my nervous system because I just think that's so important. And we live in a very stressful environment now, and there's tons of things online, and you're just, exposed to so many different things. So, any way that I can calm my nervous system, I
Yeah.
do that. And so I'll do things like journaling, daily affirmations. I really focus on daily movement too. So I'll go on a lot of walks and, try to implement different workouts that I like. Nothing that will like stress me out too much. I used to do a lot of high intensity workouts, but recently I've been focusing on lower impact workouts like yoga and Pilates, but I also love strength training too. So lots of movement, focusing on my detoxification pathways as well. So I'll still try to do like a sauna every once in a while. I'm not like as strict on it now as when I was doing my Candida cleanse, but detoxification I think is really important, and really focusing on having supportive people around me too, and like being around people that support me and that I can relate to and connect to on a deep level, I think is really important. Like you are who you surround yourself with. So, especially as I get older, like I don't have time for people that make me feel bad. So,
Yes, for sure.
yeah, I think just having like a good support group and having good connection with people is great. And also just being aware of what I'm consuming and how it's affecting me, especially on social media too. And even things like I'm watching or something, I'm just, how is this affecting me? Or just tuning into my body a lot during the day too, I think is something that I do pretty much daily. I'm just always checking in with myself. So, yeah, I'm not great at these every single day, but I definitely try to be.
Right on. Yeah, I'm happy you talked about a few of those things because I think sometimes when talking about if we have an infection, whether it be candida or something else, the only thing we kind of direct our attention toward is like, what do I take to get rid of it? Which obviously, like, that's important to do. But you mentioned calming the nervous system, like going for walks, doing some journaling. These are things that I think if they're not on your radar, they may come across as pointless to do. At one point in my life, like I definitely didn't really see the impact of some of the stuff, but after doing it, I can honestly say like it does make a good impact. And once you do it, you're way more in tune with if you're stressed out or if you're not, and you can kind of just feel what's happening a little bit better. So
Yeah,
hopefully that
absolutely.
makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's so important. And like, if my younger self like looked at me now, and I think she would think that I was a little weird because I have to do all these things every day. So I am like calm. But yeah, it's just everyone's different. So what I do for stress management might be completely different than somebody else. Maybe you like really love high intensity workouts or something like that. But yeah, those are just some things that work for me.
For sure. What would you say is the biggest challenge you personally experienced in dealing with candida, and how did you go about addressing it?
My biggest challenge. So I would say basically changing my lifestyle because, like I said, I was partying, drinking, eating whatever I wanted to, not really sleeping well either, going to bed super late. So leading up to the Candida cleanse, I did change my eating habits. Like I was paleo based for a year, but all the other stuff I was kind of still doing and like not really thinking about. So when I got serious about it, I was like, okay, I need to go to bed early. I need to wake up at the same time every day. I need to go outside and like get sunlight. I need to stop partying. I need to stop being around people that aren't supportive and like not bringing me up, basically. So that was like the hardest thing too, is just changing my lifestyle and basically changing my mindset about what was important to me. So it is challenging to do that, but I was so focused on feeling better. Like I just wanted to feel good. I was willing to do whatever to be able to feel good. So if I wasn't going out as much, that's fine, as long as I was able to feel good too and not be as social. But when I was doing it, it was still during the pandemic, so it was kind of easy to stay at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say the lifestyle part was hard because, and also none of my friends knew of what I was doing. They've never heard of Candida overgrowth, or they're not concerned about like gut health or anything like that. So it was just interesting try to explain it to people like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this cleanse? So
Yeah,
yeah, just explaining it.
exactly. So you're
Interesting.
doing a Candida cleanse. Great. Are you meeting us out soon? So
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. I think if you're have friends that you're used to doing like certain things with, like whether it be like drinking late at the bar, not that that's like a bad thing to do, and you go through these changes that are better for you personally, it does make it hard if your whole friendship is based around like doing that one activity that you're not going to be doing anymore.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, can definitely make it tougher to maybe keep in contact with some people in
Yeah.
some ways.
It's worth it though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happier not doing certain things as frequently, so I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
One of my last questions, couple more to go. Do you
Mhm.
have a current diet, supplements, or things you do right now to make sure that Candida does not come back?
Yeah, so I continued to be paleo after the cleanse up until this year actually. This year I was traveling more, and so I started to incorporate more food into my diet. But as far as diet goes now, I would say the majority of the time I'm just focused on eating whole foods, really good quality protein, lots of greens and veggies. But I'm not as concerned like if I have dairy or if I have like gluten every once in a while. I've incorporated like rice back into my diet and gluten-free oats. But I would say for the most part, I just try to stay away from gluten and dairy. Like those are two things that I don't have every single day, but I'm pretty open to eating like everything and anything now. Like I said at the beginning, like I'm just trying to have more balance with things and not overthink it because that can, stress you out too if you're constantly overthinking what you're eating. So I'm glad that I'm at a point where I'm having more balance and like a better relationship with what I'm eating. So yeah, definitely the diet because I still incorporate like antifungals every once in a while, especially with like cooking, the
Mm,
garlic, onions, and things like that. But yeah, focusing on my diet and then focusing on my stress levels are like the two biggest things that I do to like make sure that Candida doesn't come back or the overgrowth doesn't come back.
right on. I like it. And then last question I have for you. For someone listening to this who is either recently diagnosed with Candida or maybe has been struggling with it for quite some time, what would be just your best final piece of advice that you would give them?
Yeah, so I would just say that, the human body is so powerful and it's constantly trying to get to a place that it can like function optimally. So just know that your body is always working in your favor and it's totally possible to heal and get rid of the candida overgrowth. And I would say if you're like struggling to know where to start, I would just say just go back to the basics, daily movement, sleeping well, eating healthy, and then from there, you can kind of incorporate more antifungals or, other things that'll help kill the candida overgrowth. So I would say going into it a little bit slower might be good instead of just going like a 180 from what you're doing. But yeah, just know that the body is so powerful and it's always trying to heal. So just knowing that I think is helpful.
Yeah, as reassuring to know. So kind of ease into it, don't rush, and just take care of the basics first, and then maybe add some treatments or supplements later on once
Yeah.
you feel like it's sustainable for you to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Thanks for going through all of those with us, Avery. Where can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, so you can follow me. I'm most active on Instagram. So it's just Ave Beason. And then I do have a TikTok that I try to post every once in a while, and that's Ave Eats. And it's the same as my website. So aveeats.com. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
And you're on YouTube as well?
Yes, it's just my name on YouTube. So Avery Beason on YouTube.
Awesome. We'll put everything in the description as well so you can find it easily.
Thank you.
And you have a new ebook coming out, which is pretty exciting news. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Do we have a release date that we know? And then is there a sneak preview of anything that maybe we can share with everyone?
Yeah, so I'm coming out with an ebook. I definitely want to come out with several ebooks, hopefully one in the future that just focus on Candida. But the first one that I'm coming out with is a gut reset. So it's just for, everybody out there who wants a little gut reset, wants to feel better and sleep better. It'll have over 20 recipes focusing on whole foods, anti-inflammatory, gut healing. And I'm hoping to come out with it before the end of the year, hopefully in December sometime. I don't have an exact date, but hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah, perfect time for after the holidays, after everyone's eating all these desserts and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. And then you have a newsletter as well, and this will let us know when the book is coming out. And then,
Yeah. You can subscribe to that on my website. And then I am planning on giving a little discount code to anyone that subscribes to the newsletter. So if you want to just go ahead and do that, then when it does come out, you can get like a little discount code.
right on. And we'll link that as well. I think I'm able to link that. We'll link
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
And then lastly, you also do one-on-one coaching with clients as well.
Yeah, so I'm definitely taking on one-on-one coaching if anyone's interested in that. But yeah, if you're struggling with candida overgrowth or any other kind of gut health issue, I really want to have people that want to better their gut health. That's like kind of my niche. So, but yeah, one-on-one coaching.
Right on. If you're motivated, ready to make a change, you're there to help.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be the supportive friend for you.
Well, Avery, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really informative. I hope everyone gets a lot of value out of this video and talking about Candida. And thanks for watching, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Give it a like if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. That's great. Thank you.